20 seconds.
20 seconds.
Hello and thanks for joining us on SUTV News. I'm Kyle Rogers.
And I'm Emily O'Shea.
Pennsylvania State Police continue their investigation into recent break-ins of homes of female shift students. Last week, a man entered two homes on Richard Street and High Street. Police say the man attempted to sexually assault one of those girls. Now, police are warning students to lock their doors and windows. We sent out SUTV's Rachel Snowdy with a police officer to find out how to make your apartment creeper-proof.
Caitlin Gwendon listened to her landlord's advice.
Basically, make sure your doors and windows are locked at all times, even when you're home. Use your deadbolt.
But it wasn't enough.
Both of us kind of just reacted like we didn't have a chance to be scared, because we were both asleep at the time. But I was fine for the first hour, but now sometimes I get when it's creepy and dark out and no one's in my apartment, it's this is really awkward. I don't want to be here.
Locking the door should be a priority for students living on and off campus. There have been reports of an intruder targeting homes where females live, and police are suggesting students do safety checks at their home or apartment.
The best thing to do is to case your apartment that you live in off campus and see if there are any weak points that you can get into, like a second-story window, a third-story window, because we have had incidents in the past where people are using porches. They'll climb up on top of porch roofs and go into windows that way.
For most college students, locking the door is a simple task you do every day. But not many remember to lock their windows or fire escapes. You should make sure your windows lock on the inside and check the screens on the outside to make sure that they're secure.
A lot of times what we find is they'll try prying out the screen window first to take that out, because usually once you get that out, it's real easy to just slide the window open, especially if you don't have it locked inside.
Make sure the locks on your door work, and also look at the door jamb. If it looks like it's wearing down and the wood is splitting, ask your landlord to come reinforce it.
Just making sure that you keep them locked. If you do have deadbolts, go ahead and use deadbolts when you're not around. Even if you're hanging out outside and stuff like that, it's probably a good idea to lock your building up, because people wander in and out.
Lock everything in your house, including doors, windows, and fire escape doors, even when you are home, as an extra safety precaution. Rachel Snowdy, SUTV News.
For more ways to protect your house or apartment, visit www.homesafetycouncil.com and then click on the Home Security link. While Shippensburg Township made changes to its noise and public gathering ordinances, the changes will make it illegal to have any gathering over 20 people without a permit, as well as putting limits on how long the gathering may last. The changes came in response to wild parties on Richard Avenue and High Street, which worried township officials.
There was some destruction of people's personal property. There were some burnings of couches and chairs and other things, and it became the safety and welfare of the individuals that we needed to make sure that we could put something in place that we could then enforce.
And those changes will be enforced by state police officers, but SU police have also been asked to keep an eye out for any trouble. The township believes that the ordinances will keep students from under control, but President Rood hopes that the changes will be enforced evenly within the community.
That responsibility that the township feels the students should be responsible, and I believe the students in the university ought to ask the same of the township.
And if you'd like to see the new ordinances in full, you can visit our website at facebook.com/SUTV News.
Interstate 81 isn't just a busy highway, it's a topic of interest for local conversationists. Bubba Smith has more on one of the nation's most important trade routes.
From 81 to Gettysburg, the South Mountain Speaker Series is tackling conservation issues across the central PA region.
The goal of the South Mountain Speaker Series is to really use our common past of the South Mountain region as a whole to think about our common contemporary problems and to plan for the future.
The series has used SHIP's campus experts as a vessel for conservation awareness.
We at Shippensburg here can really serve as a flagship for the partnership because of the broad range of expertise of our faculty.
Faculty members, like geography professor Dr. Paul Marr.
I didn't think it was right. Okay.
Marr is offering a lecture about the history of 81, one of the nation's most important corridors.
Given that there's been such a lot of development in and along that corridor, and especially in this area, this was a topic that the South Mountain folks thought would be timely.
The 81 corridor has stimulated economies from Alabama all the way to the Canadian border. Dr. Marr will address the interstate's regional economic benefits.
Many of these industries need to buy things locally, and so you get the wages and then you get the purchases that the industries make. So you get kind of a double benefit.
As well as problems the industry has created.
The issues are primarily that we have a rural interstate and we are really running urban level traffic.
Local students may be especially interested in the lecture.
Our students grew up in this area oftentimes, they live in this area, and many of them want to and will continue to live in this area.
An area students may someday call home. For SUTV News, I'm Bubba Smith.